Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Barbara and I'm so happy that you are here today because today I've got a Polarthon vlog for you. It's been a really long time since I vlogged, so I kind of forgot how to do it, but anyway, we are back because this week is the Polarthon readathon, hosted by Jade from JD Ray Reads. It is now February 5th, Monday afternoon. It's about 5 p.m. I just wrapped up work. It's time to start reading for Polarthon. Now, what is Polarthon? I will link it down below so you can check it out. It takes place every year in February, and it is basically centered around polar fantasy books. But since I think last 2 years, so this should be the third year, I think, that the Polarthon has been connected to also fundraising for an organization that is working with polar bears and is trying to protect them and preserve them. So right down my alley. And what you have to do to participate in the Polarthon, it changes every year, of course, but this year there are 3 teams and each team has a different prompts for books to read, and then for each book that fits that prompt you get 1 snowball, and for every 100 pages read you get 1 snowball, and then each snowball kind of translates to £1 or €1 or whatever money you are dealing in, but approximately £1 since it's created by Jade and she's in the UK. And then you donate this money to the Polar Bear Preservation Organization if you want to or if you can. So, which I do want to, so I'm gonna do that. So I'm here to talk to you about what team I picked and what books I'm gonna be reading, at least attempting. So, first of all, the teams are Team Arctic Fox, hosted by Beth, Team Reindeer, hosted by Steph, and then Jade is host of the Polar Bears. And for this, I picked Reindeer. I love reindeers, and it's also the most it's also the easiest prompt from all of those, with S on the cover, easiest prompt ever. So, what books did I pick for this readathon? I picked 4, which I think is quite ambitious, but I am currently reading 3 of them. So that's my, strategy. Read the books that you're already reading. Anyway, I'm going to count it anyway. If it's not for the competition, I don't care. I just want to donate to the bears and make it gamified. So, what I'm currently reading. First of all, I'm reading Beartown, which Beartown, yes, does not have S in the title. Fredrik Backman does not have S in the name, but I have the book in original language in Swedish, and that's called Björnstad, and S, Björnstad. This is the first book, fits the prompt quite well. It's not a polar fantasy, because you also get extra snowball for polar fantasy, but I am currently on page 77. I have about 400 pages left, so this is one of the chonkers, or this is the only chonker really. But I am now reading it in Swedish and listening in English. But we'll see how that goes. I don't think that's gonna work if I want to read 400 pages in 1 week, but we'll see. Next book I'm reading, and that I'm gonna try to finish this week and count for the readathon, is Emery and the Great Game by B.B. Alston, which is second book in the Supernatural Investigation series. I just finished the first one, rereading the first one, and now I'm reading the second one. I absolutely love the first book, Emery and the Night Brothers. It's amazing. I love it so much. I'm not usually middle grade girly, but that book is fantastic. So I'm reading the second one in the series, and there also the title does not have an S, but the author is B.B. Alston. There is S in the name of the author. So that one I'm reading, and in that one I'm currently 28% through. I have about 287 pages left. I'm listening to it on script, and yeah, that one should be pretty easy because it's middle grade, it's an audiobook. That's an easy read. And then the third book I'm currently reading, I have on my Kindle, and it is Potions, Poisons, and Perils. There are 3 S's in the title of this book. Definitely counts for the theme. It also not the polar fantasy, but this one is witchy fantasy kind of thing. Like so we follow a witch, and she has a herbal shop, and one day a man cursed to death comes to her shop and dies, and so she's trying to figure out what happened and who cursed him. And that one is a short one. It's total of 211 pages, and I'm currently halfway through, so I have about 100 pages left. And then the 4th book that I'm going to try to get to, I'm not sure I will, but if I can, I will try. It is a polar fantasy. It has an S in the title, so it is perfect. And it is the Polar Bear Explorers Club, which is a middle grade. It's one of Jade's favorite books of all time, and I think it just fits perfectly. And I have it on script, and it's pretty quick. I think it was like 6 or 7 hours audiobook, so that's really, really quick. And I always was kind of intrigued by that. It sounds fun, so I'm gonna try to read that one as well. So that is my TBR for the week. It's very, very ambitious. We have total of 1,127 pages, which means 163 pages a day. So fingers crossed I can do it. We have 2 middle grades, which makes it easier, but it still doesn't make it easy. So we'll see. Let's do it for the polar bears. Okay, it is now Tuesday evening. I just wrapped up my sprints. It is 11 p.m., so I've got 2 days of updates for you. Yesterday, I read 170 pages. So I read 120 pages of Amari and the Great Game, and then I read 50 pages of Potions, Poisons, and Peril. And so that was a great start. And so here is a graphic of the sum up after day 1. And so I got 1 snowball because I read more than 100 pages or read 100 pages and didn't finish a book, so no extra snowballs. But today I read a bit more so far. I'm not done reading just yet. I will be reading a little bit more. But I did finish Potions, Poisons, and Peril. This was such a fun book. It wasn't like brilliant. I don't think I'll remember it all that much. But this is basically a cozy mystery book about witches. So we follow our main character, Emery, who is a witch, and she runs a herbs shop. And one day, a man stumbles into her store, calling for help, and dies. And so she goes on to try to figure out what happened. Why did he die? She knows there was some spell work involved. And we have other witches, like there is this coven, and there is like spell walkers, death walkers, and there are different types of witches and warlords. And it's a short book, but it packed so much into it. It wasn't like the coziest thing you've ever read, and it's not the best witchy book I've ever read, but it was so much fun. I couldn't stop reading it. I like anytime I was, like working and waiting for a file to open, I just open it. Like if I can read only 1 sentence, I want to. So it was so much fun. That got a 4 stars, which is a really, really positive surprise, because this book I got on Stuff Your Kindle Day some time ago. And I read so far only 1 other book I got on Stuff Your Kindle Day, and that one was not good. It was one of the worst books, or like most boring. It was bad book. So I was like, maybe the Stuff Your Kindle Day is for books that are not actually good. Why else would you give your books for free? But this one was good. This one was good. So I'm definitely gonna try to read more from the series, because this was first in the series. I think there are 4 books in a series, and then 1 kind of like companion novel or something like that. So and they are on Everend, so I'm definitely gonna try to get to those as well, because it was cute. I liked it. We'll see how, like, I just had fun, okay? And then I continued reading Amari and the Great Game. I still haven't finished that, but then I'm having a great time. I love Amari. And then I am now reading also Beartown. And today I read both, like, because I got also the English version now. So I read the English version while listening to the English audiobook, but then I switched to reading the Swedish version and listening to the English version. And today I read 49 pages, and it's so strange, like they just randomly flip paragraphs. So when I read this is probably one of, or like the original edition. I'm not even sure which edition this is. And I listen to the book and suddenly they are talking about something else that is not in here. I'm like, did they just add like a page of text, or like what's happening? And then then it goes to what the text actually said, and they go through that. And then in the book I can get to the text that they read before. So they switch, like they put a page of text before, like they just switched it. Like, okay, whatever, it's weird. But then, for example, they changed a name of a guy from one Swedish name to a different Swedish name. Like, what is that? Why would you do that? But like, okay. And then, that they changed some other names that are like specifically Swedish names. So they change it so it's more enjoyable by English audience, or like English speaking audience. That's fine. But that, like even the name of the town, right? Like you don't have, the book is not called Bjornstad in English. It's called Beartown, and that's the name of the town. So even like it's translated, that's fine. But they changed the name of a guy from one Swedish name to that different Swedish name. It's just so weird. But then one thing that's a little bit strange in this page, I mean, like this is 120 pages in, so I'm not gonna tell you about it. But it says here like about the girl, and she was in her bed. She was not feeling good. She was feeling kind of like feverish, and it says that she fell asleep and she felt as if, or like she felt bad enough that she wanted to stay asleep in the bed all day. And then it says here that she is going to wish she would have done that. So there is some kind of like something bad's going to happen. But this sentence was not in the audiobook. And I'm like, wait a minute, why didn't you say it in the audiobook? So it's just very interesting to see how like they translated it and adjusted it. Anyway, it's a hockey book. I'm enjoying that. It is a bit slow. There is a lot of characters, so I'm sometimes a bit lost, like who is who. I'm a bit lost with the characters, but otherwise it's a book about hockey. I'm a fan. And yeah, I think that is the update for now. Tomorrow I go to office, so I don't think I'll be able to read as much as today and yesterday. It is now Thursday evening. It's about 9 p.m. and I just finished Amari and the Great Game. And I didn't talk to you yesterday on Wednesday because it was a long day in the office, and I got home at like 7:30, and then we had dinner, and then we went to sleep at like 11. Like I did not read. I only listened to Amari a little bit and was falling asleep even then. I did not have energy to read yesterday at all. So I think yesterday I read only like 50 pages or something total. So didn't talk to you yesterday, but today I read so far 50 pages of Beartown. So a little progress there. And I am now about third way through, I would say. I finished Amari. And so good. It's so good. It's probably, well, my favorite middle grade series I've ever read since the ages of Harry Potter. Like, it's so good. I love it. I love the story. I love the creativity. It's just so good. But the only thing I have against it is I don't really feel the characters. Like, I love Amari, but the other characters, like her friends and stuff like I don't know who I can trust. There is something terrible happening, for example, or like some high stakes, but I don't really feel that scared for the friends. I only feel scared for Amari. And that's dragging it down just a little notch for me, because I mean, it's not that bad. It's just, I just noticed that I don't really care about the friends all that much. But overall, I'm loving it, and it's brilliant because today actually was announced the name and the cover of the third book in this series, the third and the last book. It's called Amari and the Despicable Wonders, I want to say it's called. And the cover is green. I'm gonna put it here, and I'm just so excited. It comes out in August. But I just felt it was absolutely perfect when I'm reading the second one. I just finished it. The third one was announced, or like what it's gonna be. So that's super exciting. But what it means for the Polarthon is that I now have 4 snowballs from reading 440 pages-ish, something like that. And plus 2 bonus snowballs. One was for the Potions, Poisons, and Peril for S on the cover, and 1 bonus snowball for Amari because the author is B.B. Alston, which is S in his name. And so I have total of 6 snowballs. I'm now going to continue reading Beartown. I have my tea, watch darts, and just chill, and I'll talk to you either later today or tomorrow. It is now Friday afternoon. I'm still working, but I thought I would give you a quick update on my reading. And yesterday I talked to you when I finished Amari, and then I read almost 80 pages of Beartown. Why does no one talk about this book being as serious as it is? I always thought it was just, a nice story about the hockey team and in a hockey town, and yeah, there are some heavy topics or something, but this is a heavy book. Like, the entire point of the book is to discuss the heavy topics. It is not I did not know that, like, going in. And Frederick Backman has just a certain way writing. I haven't read anything else from him, so I don't know, but this, like, the way it's written, it somehow feels as if, as in movies, there is gonna be a scene that would, like, if you remove the music, you don't feel anything, nothing's happening. But then you add the music, and it's like the anxious, the suspenseful music, and it just gives you this feeling that, oh my God, something bad's going to happen. And like, it just makes you, sit on the edge of the chair. It exactly feels like that. That's the writing. Like, nothing actually was happening yet. But just the writing, the suspense, I just couldn't read it. I couldn't read it in the evening. I was just feeling too anxious about it. And evenings are like harder for me when it comes to anxiety. So that was definitely one of the factors. So it's not like that awful, but it's insane how he writes. I don't understand it. Like, on one side, yes, it gave me anxiety and I had to stop reading, so I don't know if I want to, like, love this book, but on the other hand, I love this book. Like, yes, it was slow from the start, like, nothing's happening for about 100 pages. There is lots of characters that I'm still kind of confused on. Like, there is way too many characters to keep track of, and I felt like maybe the character definition in the beginning was not good enough for me to be able to, like, say who is who. It's not like I mix them up. It's just I don't remember who this person is. But now I'm further in. Even today I managed to read about 100 pages already. So I'm this far in. And I mean, I know the characters now. I think there is still maybe 1 or 2 that I'm kind of unsure about. But otherwise, I know the characters. The characters are amazing, like, with all their flaws. And I love it's not really social commentary, but it's more like study into psychology kind of thing. And it's just fantastic. I love how it's done. And it's way more serious than people say. I think, like, I'm not the one who will tell you trigger warnings for a book. If you have some triggers when reading, go find them out. So, because for me, it feels like it could be a spoiler. It could be a spoilery, plot point. Not necessarily, and I know it's not really, but it could be, and I know some people think it. So I will not be telling you trigger warnings, but I will be telling you if a book is heavy and that maybe you need to be in the right mindset, at least going into it. At least you need to know what you're going into. So, I mean, it's not like A Little Life, but it is heavy. Nevertheless, I'm still loving it. It is now Saturday morning. It's, well, morning. It is 10:30 a.m. I read some more today, but I have like 110 pages left or something, so getting there. But yeah, this is very, very, very heavily character-driven book, kind of like a study of a group mentality. The writing, it's very heavy, and yeah, I couldn't read more of this yesterday because it was giving me anxiety. But you know, it's not like super, super heavy for normal people who don't suffer from extreme anxiety. It would be very interesting read, even though still heavier than your typical, usual, average book. Anyway, after that, I did start listening to the Polar Bear Explorers Club. I listened to it yesterday a bit. I listened to almost like a third of it. It's very quick, quite short. Like I listened to it for about maybe an hour and I listened to a third of it. Something like that. So it's very short, but like everybody says about how amazing it is. And I know some people like it's the best middle grade book they've ever read. And yeah, they just recommend it all the time. And I saw so many people gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. So many people I follow and I kind of like take suggestions from. Okay, I don't want to be mean. So it's not a bad book. I'm just not feeling anything at all. The main character, she's 12 years old, but I don't know. It just feels like she wants to go explore and she was hoping that, oh yeah, and they get in trouble and they can die, actually. And she's like, oh, she thought that on the first exploration trip, she would get to discover something huge, like a dinosaur fossil or like a lost city or something, and she's just gonna die instead. And I'm like, okay, sure. I'm just not having the best time with it because it doesn't feel not realistic. I mean, obviously it's not realistic. They have unicorns and shadow wolves and whatever, snow sharks. So of course it's not realistic, but I still like my magical realism books to be somewhat realistic. And then another thing, I just finished earlier this month, The Secret Animal Society, which is also a middle grade book. And that didn't get a 5 star from me, but compared to the Polar Bear Explorers Club, that is a 5-star book. And like the entire time I'm reading the Polar Bear Explorers Club, I'm like, oh my god, I miss the Secret Animal Society book, because here they're talking about hunting a yeti. They're going to kill a yeti, and oh, how are you gonna lift a yeti? They get like 60 feet long or like 60 feet tall, like they're huge. How are you gonna, oh, I'm just gonna cut off the head. And I'm like, and nobody's saying about how they shouldn't do this. Nobody, like even our main character who has a polar bear as a pet is like, no, we shouldn't. Why do they want to kill a yeti? While in Secret Animal Society, they go on a mission to save yetis. And I just vibed with that one so much. With this one, like, are you really going to like Polar Bear Explorers Club and you're gonna hunt animals? Like, is that what you're doing? I don't know, I'm confused. I'm not having a good time. Other kids that is there that is supposed to be like the enemy or like the bad guy in the book for now. Absolutely annoying, not a good villain whatsoever, or villain. It doesn't make any sense, just annoying for the sake of being annoying. Not like actual annoying character, just, you know, anything he says is annoying regardless of what it is. There is no like line that the character is sticking to be mean about. I'm not having fun with this book at all. I expected to love it so much because everybody loves it, but so far I'm like, yeah, 36% through, and I mean, I will finish listening it because for the Polarthon it will give me 2 snowballs plus like on top of all the pages I'm gonna read. And it's a short one, so I'm definitely gonna finish it, but I really hope it gets better, because so far I absolutely do not understand what the hype is about. So that's my update. I'm now gonna clean a little bit because it's a mess in here. Probably sit down and read a bit more because I do need to take it in turns. Because this one does give me anxiety, even though I did keep it for like daylight, because I feel like in the morning or in the afternoon I'm better able to cope with my anxiety, and in the evening it really hits. So I really want to read this one now, but even now reading this now in the morning, it started to give me anxiety already, so I need to switch between them. Okay, quick update. It is now Saturday night. It is just midnight, just right now. I just finished Polar Bear Explorers Club and it got a little bit better. We got a little bit of a redemption arc in there, but overall it still didn't work for me at all. I don't know, I just did not like it all that much. It was not for me. It was probably a little bit bad timing as well, with me just reading 2 Amari books just last week and this week. So, and those are absolutely brilliant. So it was hard to follow those. So it could be like, that could be a factor in it, in me not enjoying this book at all. But I will not be continuing the series. I ran it quickly through Copal and it got like 2.5 stars from me. Don't hate me, please, but yeah, unfortunately not for me. But for Polarthon it's perfect because it is polar fantasy, which gives me 1 bonus snowball, and there is S in the title, so that gives me extra snowball. So that's 2 snowballs plus the length of the book, which was like 336 pages. So for that book alone I got 5 snowballs, which is perfect. So if nothing else, it's good for the polar bears that I read it. Reading Beartown. I am this far in, so I have like 45 pages left or something like that, not that much. I don't think I'll be able to finish today. I'll definitely finish tomorrow. Tomorrow we actually go out to town because a friend, she did kind of like a training for military, and now she's one of the guards that's guarding the king's castle in the city. And tomorrow she's gonna be there, so we're gonna go say hi, have a look. You know, it's just so cool when you know someone like that. So we're going to go say hi to a guard at the castle. So cool. So I don't know, we'll probably go to a bookstore, not to buy books. I want to go buy a game that maybe we can play next week. So I don't know how much time I'll have tomorrow to read, but I will definitely prioritize to finish this to get my extra snowballs, or well, 1 bonus snowball for this, and see how much more I can read, but we'll see. So it is time to wrap up the vlog because it is now Monday, well, lunchtime, really. I'm working from home, so I decided to wrap up the vlog in the lunchtime. The readathon ended yesterday and I finished Beartown yesterday. As I was saying before, no big change. It is very well written book, amazing writing, great characters. The characters, there was a lot of them and it was not that easy to keep track of who everybody is. But at the same time, it is very character-driven book, so it is important to keep track. That maybe dragged the book down a little bit, but otherwise it was great. I feel a little hurt because it's kind of like, it's not bashing hockey, but it is like this horrible thing that happens is centered around hockey, and hockey is my favorite thing. My favorite sport of all. And so now when I watch hockey, I kind of feel like, but I know it's not like hockey's fault. It's just the way the characters behave in this book. But still, I'm just gonna remember this book every time I watch hockey. But yeah, keep in mind this is a very heavy topic focused. It's not just mentioned. It's not just something that happens at the end of the book or anything. It is like the entire book is focused on sexual assault and how broken our society is really when it comes to these kind of allegations or these kind of situations, and what happens in a small town. I was thinking throughout the entire book, it's kind of like a fiction. If you like the Know My Name by Chanel Miller, I think it was. That one is a 5-star memoir, like absolutely fantastic book by Chanel about her personal experience with sexual assault and the case that was like widespread, everybody knew about it. And so she released this memoir about her experience and like how it felt to go through this and to talk to her family about it and how it was portrayed in the media and everything. And fantastic book, go check it out if that's a topic you're comfortable reading about. But I feel like this is kind of like a fiction version of it. Not of that situation, of course not. Like it's not inspired by that, but like this same topic, really, but just kind of spread out because we have different points of view. We have different point of view of the girl, of the boy, of their friends, of their families, parents, people not related but still within the same community, and it's just really, really powerful and I loved it. And I definitely want to read the next book in the series. I just feel like maybe I need a break and a little like decompress from this because this was very triggering for me, not because of my personal experiences but just because the topic is so heavy. and my anxiety just couldn't handle it. But I definitely am interested to read the next book and read more by Frederick Backman because the writing was phenomenal. So this was 4.5 stars actually. And at that point, I kind of read, I think, 1,150 pages or something. So I'm like, I have about, 5 hours left in the day. Maybe I can still read 50 pages to get to next 100-page mark. And so I started Inheritance. I mean, I started this a couple weeks ago, but then we decided with Natalie, a friend we are buddy reading this with, to start 11th of February, so yesterday. And so I paused the reading, and so yesterday I continued, and I read, I think, like 50 pages after that. So I got over 1,200 pages in 1 week, which is insane for me. Like I really pushed myself. I really focused on the readathon. So I'm really, really proud of myself. I finished 4 books. Bear Town, I finished Amari and the Great Game, and Potions, Poisons, and Peril. And then I read the Polar Bear Explorers Club, and then I read a bit more of Inheritance and anything else, I don't think. So total, I got 12 snowballs from reading over 1,200 pages, and I got 5 snowballs on top of it from the bonus snowballs for the prompts. So total 17 snowballs. So I'm going to donate 17 pounds to the Polar Bear organization. That's pretty good. I'm really happy with that. I'm really happy with my progress. I didn't read that many books that were on my actual TBR this week, but I was reading for the Polar Bears. I didn't care for my TBR all that much, so it's all good. It was fun to vlog again after a long time, so that was very exciting for me. Hope the vlog wasn't too boring. I mean, I just talked about the books, so this one was very much focused on the books and right on the task. But still hope it was somewhat enjoyable. And yeah, let me know how you did if you were participating in the Polarthon. And I would definitely love to know how many snowballs you got and what team you were representing. I was for the team Reindeer. So go Reindeers. We'll see when the results come out which team won. But yeah, that's it for this vlog. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!